adventure with Charlie's Adventures. Today I'm headed up, back up here on the mountain to finish up what I didn't get done the last time we were up here working on food plot 2.0 or number 2 food plot, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, I got something on my mind today. Just want to talk a little bit about, and then we'll get on up here and get to work on our food, or on our G36 camera. I got to trim out over to it and put a battery pack solar panel on, on it, because it's kind of aggravating to get to, and that battery solar pack will just keep the camera going year round. But anyway, while we're easing up through here, I just want to talk about I guess you could call it mental health. If you get down and out and depressed and stuff, feel like the world's caving in on you or whatever, give some of your friends a call and talk to them about it. Heck, if you need to, call me, if we're friends or not. Just find somebody that you can talk to before you do some serious things that will affect you or your family for the rest of their lives, or for the rest of your life, or worse. I have a hard time grasping how far somebody has to be down in order to take their own life, for instance. I can't understand that, but I would rather somebody that was feeling that way to call me, or call a friend of theirs, or somebody that they can look up to or count on, and talk to them about it before they do that. There's various organizations that have numbers out there, and though I haven't researched it to have some phone numbers to give here today, but I will, that you can call helplines and stuff. We've got to do a better job of seeing like one of our co-workers or friends down, and maybe you just let it go thinking, well, they're just having a bad day or they're having a bad week, and just kind of let them be to themselves, rather than talking to them and maybe trying to find out, hey, what's wrong? Is anything I can do? And I'm guilty of doing that myself. If I feel like somebody's having a bad day, I may just let them be and be to themselves, Because a lot of times if I'm having a bad day, I just want to be to myself, pretty much, But I don't know. We just going to have to figure out better ways of detecting when a co-worker or a friend is in need. I've been down and out before, pretty bad, but I never considered taking my own life. And you know, if you start thinking about doing that, you know, you need to step back and think about, you know, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, your kids, of what you're putting on them to have to live with, you know, and your spouse. Sometimes, you know, you may have marital problems, and that might spark it off, you know, but in that situation, you got to think about your other family members. You know, your mom, your dad, your brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles. You know, I mean, it's, you know, it's just something that I wish people would think about, you know, when they think that somebody close to them don't love them, but there's a lot of other people that do, you know. And another thing is if people are on drugs or alcohol and you think it's a problem and they're a friend of yours, you may want to try to talk to them about it. Folks, we're in different times than we were, you know, 30 years ago. It just seems like there's more and more people taking their own life or taking somebody else's life for really small things, you know. I mean, I'm not saying that all things are small, but, you know, I mean, just get in a little argument, next thing you know, somebody killed somebody. You know, and, I don't know. I just, bug got on me. I just think that we've got to start helping one another mental health wise. There was a deal that happened just a few days ago that's really got me lost on what was going on, you know. My back brakes are squeaking on this side-by-side, sorry. Maybe that mud hole there will quiet them down a minute. I just can't put it into words, and I'm not wanting to be talking about the individual and their family, but I know the young man for a long time. Since he was, you know, he was in his late teens to early 20s, and he did something Thursday, took his own life, and I would have never dreamed that about him. He was a good young man, had a whole life ahead of him. I would have never dreamed that out of him. And I just saw him a day or two before. I didn't actually talk to him. He was passing by and I waved at him. He waved back. But now that I get to thinking about it, you know, he would have normally hooted and hollered or something, and he didn't. What I gather, he had been quiet at work and stuff with his co-workers. I've worked at 2 different places with him. The current place I work now, and then a prior place is when I first met him. And he was just more or less a boy. you know, pretty fresh out of high school, really. And I don't know. I'm just struggling today, folks. And everybody just remember, pray for people that are having difficulties. It seems like it happens. Excuse me. It just seems like it happens more and more nowadays. And when I was in school, I remember a boy I went to school with did the same thing. But it just seems like it happens a lot more often now than it did then. And this young man was probably in his I'm going to say he was about 36 year old, maybe 37, but I'm thinking 35, 36. I think he was born the year after I graduated. I graduated in 87, that was 37 years. He was born in 88, so I'm going to assume he was 36. He had 2 young kids and a wife, family, brothers, you know, mother, father. I don't know for sure if he had sisters or not. Anyway, he had family. I'm gonna miss him. He was a good young man. I'm just struggling today figuring out what can we do to keep this from happening. I've struggled with it ever since I heard about it the other night. You know, and I don't live like I should, but God told us he wouldn't put no more on us than we could bear. And I'm just having trouble, you know, I'm having trouble sorting it all out. And maybe it's not for me to sort out, but I feel like it's for me to try to start speaking and trying to come up with ways to keep people from doing these kind of things. Every time you turn on the news anymore, you're seeing where somebody got in a fight with the law and the law shot them, or you know, they're killing one another, or, you know, I mean, it's just every time you turn the TV on anymore, it's nothing but depression. You know, just depressing things on the news and stuff. And I'm not talking around in the big city. I'm talking about around here local, near home. I'm talking about the local news. But anyway, everybody, I don't know. I may have not made any sense out of everything I've said, but we've got to start paying attention to our co-workers and friends and family and you know, just co-workers. I mean, sometimes we are around our co-workers more than we're with our own families. You know, yes, they're our working family, Or, you know, and I don't know, I'm just searching for, trying to figure out how we can start doing that, doing a better job at noticing those things and helping people. But anyway, everybody, just say prayers. Keep people in your thoughts and prayers that are struggling with mental issues and day-to-day things, life issues, work issues, family issues, spouse issues, just whatever, alcohol, drugs. And let's just start trying to help these people. Help one another. Let's try to help our working family needs to help each other through personal issues. Rather than going out and talking about them behind their back, just try to help them. If they put enough confidence in you to talk to you about something, then keep it to yourself and try to honestly help that person, rather than just going around and talking about it. But anyway, folks, okay, just remember these people in your thoughts and prayers. And we're going to go on around here, and today, first stop I'm going to do is go around here to the on-time feeder, and I'm going to put 2 bags of corn in it and probably change the battery out in it, and bring the other battery out of it home and charge it. The battery that's in it now will probably been in it a year. I'm sure it's probably looking for a good recharge. Alright. Join me in just a moment of silence for all the people that are struggling today, and the young man that I talked about, his family. Join me in a moment of silence. Amen. Alright, folks, we're going to go on around here to the feeder and put these 2 bags of corn in the feeder and the new fresh battery. I'll see you around there. Alright, we're around here to the on-time feeder. And as you can tell, I can pull on it, and it's still pretty heavy. So I guess either my battery's dead or the feeder has just went bad. One or the other. The motor was squealing on it when I was here last. But I want to set up a time lapse on it, and I'm going to lower this thing down, and we're going to see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. And I'm going to check the flex camera here. This is the first flex camera that I had right there, and I'm going to make sure it's good on batteries before I leave. And if it's not, I'll put a new set in it. Alright, as you've seen in the time lapse, I've got the feeder. It wasn't empty. It had quite a bit of corn in it. I believe the battery went dead, or I got the last corn from the co-op down there, and it had quite a bit of trash in it, you know, stems and stuff. So I think that might have been it, or the battery was dead. I put a new battery in it, but the old battery would turn, but it just wasn't turning very fast. So I've got that done, and now we're going to turn our concentration on to the flex camera and put a fresh set of batteries in it. I don't know for sure if it needs it or not, but we're going to go ahead and put a fresh set in it while we're here. All right, we've got the on-time feeder done, and fresh batteries in the SpyPoint Flex camera. So it started to say SpyPoint. Tongue twisted today. I'm tongue twisted about every day. But anyway, we're headed out of here now. Got plenty of corn on the ground for whatever comes to eat this evening. There's supposed to be some rain coming in. later this evening. Probably be coming before I even get out of here today. But we're going to go back down to food plot number 2 now, and put some fertilizer, starter fertilizer on it, and try to cut over to that SpyPoint G36 camera and put this solar pack on. I'm hoping that we can get that done. I'm going to put about a half a bag of starter fertilizer on that food plot number 2 as well.